an original MCM production.
Good morning, everyone. I'm going to call the meeting to order. First item is to record the roll.
Commissioner Bowl?
Here.
Commissioner Devine is expected. Commissioner Johnson is expected. Commissioner Martinsek?
Here.
Commissioner Krieger?
Here.
Commissioner Hermes?
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. First item on our agenda is the approval of the proceedings of the regular committee meeting, which was held on October 9th, 2017. Is there? Moved by Commissioner Bowl, seconded by Commissioner Martinsek. Seeing no other discussion, I'll call the vote on that. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Is there anyone opposed? The motion passes. Thank you. Organization and Administration, Kevin?
Good morning, Commissioners. We do have the Green Luminary Award for this month. Chris Schultz is here, and he's going to present it for us.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Chris Schultz, Senior Project Manager in Planning, Research, and Sustainability. My guest this morning is Eric Rhodes, the Chief Operating Officer of Ascension Columbia St. Mary's Hospital. So in addition to its two green roofs as an Ascension facility, Columbia St. Mary's Hospital is a participant in the organization's environmental stewardship program. This is an ambitious and robust overarching program intended to identify and implement practical solutions to minimize the organization's impact on the environment and the communities it serves. The program focuses on 9 key areas, including energy efficiency, water conservation, waste management and reduction, and environmentally preferred purchasing. Associates from across Ascension make up their System Green team. This team provides leadership for the environmental stewardship program and meets regularly to collaborate and share best practices and innovative programs that are making a difference in their hospitals and the communities that they serve.
We feel that the green environments really aid in comforting and also accelerating the healing process. I'm Kelly Elkins. I'm the president of Columbia St. Mary's Hospital. In fact, we have 2 green roofs on the Columbia St. Mary's Milwaukee Hospital campus. Our patients love the fact that we have a lot of green space on this campus, and particularly for those in patient rooms, the ability to look out their window and see a green rooftop is something that is very healing for them. It's almost like looking out at a park setting, and with Lake Michigan as our backdrop for this campus, it's a great mixture of bringing the outside in for our patients. We have almost half an acre of green roofs on this campus that allow us to absorb rainfall and really help with the local environment and sustainability. For us, again, it's a part of our value of stewardship that we want to make sure we're good stewards of the environment, and the environment plays such a huge factor in this community being able to thrive and be able to have communities of individuals for us to continue to care for.
Thank you. Between their 2 green roofs, they are able to manage over 20,000 gallons of stormwater each time it rains. So in addition to protecting Lake Michigan by managing water where it falls, their high visibility green roofs incorporate elements of nature and the outdoors in a successful healing and working environment. Eric, saying?
Just thank you all. I can't tell you the level of satisfaction and experience it does for enhancing for our patients, for our staff, particularly for those folks that have typically longer lengths of stay at the hospital, for them to be able to get out of the room, around on these areas, look out of the windows and see something other than our air handlers and that sort of thing is very good. So just very thankful to the committee for the opportunity to do this.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anything else, Kevin?
No, it's just always a great way to start a meeting to have something like that.
It absolutely is. Yes.
But that concludes my report.
All right, well then we'll move on to our new business agenda. And the first item is file number 17-107-11, which is a contract for on-call engineering services. Michael Martin is here to cover this item.
Good morning, Mike Martin, Director of Technical Services. The Commissioners requested to authorize the Executive Director to execute on behalf of the district contract TS 2642, general on-call engineering services for watercourse facilities with Strand Associates Incorporated in an amount not to exceed $450,000. We have a number of on-call engineering services contracts for plants, conveyance system, watercourse, electrical, and instrumentation control. This is another one of those. They're generally geared towards smaller scale projects. We usually use them somewhere between 6 and 12 times per year. And a task under this on-call project is somewhere in the range of $5,000 to $50,000 typically. What it provides for us is a cost-effective and quick response to our engineering needs. So instead of having to go through a full-blown procurement process, we can just work with the consultant in developing the scope of services, costs, and so on. It allows us to be more efficient in procuring these relatively small engineering services contracts. So it's a wide range of services that we can provide under this contract: planning, preliminary engineering, alternatives evaluations. They'll provide reports, or they'll develop small-scale plan specifications or engineering services during construction. The amount here is $450,000, and we expect that would last about a 3-year period. We're limited by the dollar amount. The individual tasks under this contract would be funded either from the capital budget or the O&M budget. So this is simply a contract mechanism. The capital project itself, or the O&M budget would fund the individual tasks. Answer any questions?
Commissioner Martin, second.
I'm just curious, we talked a little bit about on these contracts in which you award a contract and then have the work done over the next 3-year period of time. Were there any discussions with Strand about local employment or use of minority and women firms?
Sure,
and
absolutely.
Is there anything in this contract that would lead us to believe they will help us meet those goals in the future?
When they submit their proposal, first of all, they tell us, there's a list of all the sub-consultants that they propose to use under the contract. Then as we go through each task, we always ask them, obviously we know what sub-consultants are going to be used, and then we always monitor the SWMB small women minority business enterprise participation under each that, both on that individual task and then cumulatively to make sure that they meet the goal. And our staff are all very cognizant of that. So.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Seeing none, a motion would be in order.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Martin and seconded by Commissioner Dan Devine. Seeing no further discussion, I'll call the vote on that issue. All those in favor? Aye. Is there anyone opposed? Motion passes. Item 2, file number 17-108-11, and this is a contract for Jones Island water reclamation. Michael?
The Commissioners requested to award and to direct the Executive Director to execute on behalf of the district contract J01018C04, Jones Island Water Reclamation Facility Inline Storage System Pump Number 1 Rehabilitation to Butters Fetting Company Incorporated in the amount of $157,110. So I think the commissioners are familiar with the inline storage system, and to utilize that inline storage system or the deep tunnel, there are 3 pumps located at Jones Island that are available to be used to pump out the deep tunnel system. They're critical for maximizing treatment during wet weather events. They're very large pumps. They're 5,000 horsepower pumps each, I believe. So very large. They pump about 70 million gallons per day. And Veolia, under their contract, is responsible for performing inspections And this is typical. This is nothing unusual. We usually have to do a overhaul rehab of each of the pumps, about one per year over a 3-year period. We inspected number one, determined that the interior coating is worn, wear ring tolerances have been exceeded. That impacts the efficiency, reliability. This is typical maintenance on a pump of this size. There's the ISS pump station located at the south end of Jones Island. Again, they're very large pumps, a little hard to see, but this is a previous overhaul where they have to use cranes and equipment to take the pump casing off. There's, sorry for it's hard to see. There's the motor pump. These are, again, from past times that we have performed inspections. See down here, the interior of the pump, the metal just abrades away. Typically there's a coating on the inside that helps protect the metal. And again, from the inspection they can do without having to take the casing off, they've determined that the coating needs to be. And the purpose of this project is to restore it to its full capacity and efficiency, which reduces our overflow risk and also protects the interior of the pump. It's their scope of work. Basically, they take it apart, do an inspection, apply the abrasion-resistant coating, replace the wear rings, wearing parts, and then put it back together, start it up, test it, and then put it back in service. Projects within, or the contracts within budget, Veolia contributes $10,000, consistent with the O&M budget. The duration is 60 days, but we require that it be returned to service before March 1st. So there, we have to execute the contract, and then once we give a notice to proceed, they mobilize. They have 60 days to do the work before the spring rains hit. Put in service before the spring rains hit. Can answer any questions.
Questions from the commissioners?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
just a question on,
Commissioner
is this the best practice in restoring these with that lining, or is there any new
Yes.
technologies that is looked at, or
Yep.
this is?
Again, we do this same thing about every year.
Okay.
One pump per year, 3 pumps, so they get done about once every 3 years. We've been doing this for many years, so.
Any other questions? If not, the motion would be in order.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Bowl and seconded by Commissioner Perez.
Commissioner Perez is not on the committee.
Is it, oh,
He's on PFMP.
I'll second.
seconded by Commissioner Devine.
Read that way.
Seeing that it's properly moved and seconded, I'll call the vote. All those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? That motion is passed. Item 3 is file number 17-109-11, and it's a funding agreement for the Village of Round Deer private property inflow and infiltration reduction project.
Good morning,
Karen?
Commissioners.
Good morning.
I'm Karen Sands, Director of Planning, Research, and Sustainability. The Commission is requested to authorize and to direct the Executive Director to execute on behalf of the District Funding Agreement BD02 in the amount of $425,000 for work outlined in Work Plan BD02 as submitted by the Village of Brown Deer under Project M03044, Private Property Inflow and Infiltration Program. So this is there was investigative work in 2014 and 15 in 4 neighborhoods in Brown Deer. And during that time, about 75% of the laterals in those 4 neighborhoods were found to be defective. So the village is proposing to focus rehabilitation on the 50 of the laterals in the area that have the highest leakage rates. I'll show you some maps. So this one is an overall map showing the 4 neighborhood project areas. And then zeroing in on the areas, Bradley Estates and Green Knoll, County Line Road, and Kirkwood. So a little background, the sewer sheds are actually compliant with our Chapter 3 rules. There are 675 lateral connections in the property area though, or the project areas, and 75% of those, as I said, are leaking. This public system has been rehabilitated, so this focuses on the private system. And the connections of the laterals to the main sewer were grouted previously. Again, we're going to Brown Deer rather will rehab the 50 worst. They're also reserving $55,000 of the money for additional willing participants in the program, so it will be more than 50 laterals that are rehabbed. $20,000 of the total project cost is being paid for by the village. It's bidding late fall of this year with construction beginning soon thereafter and into the spring of next year. And with this, with your approval, this would commit 100% of the Brown Deer PPI funds that are available to them through this year. And this is the requested action.
Okay, questions from the commissioners? I will just simply state that I'm going to be abstaining on this vote because I'm the village president in Brown Deer, and I pushed our DPW to get this project in the works. But if there's any other questions regarding...
Chair?
Yes.
Quick question now. You stated that there were only 50, we're only going to do 50, the top 50?
Yes, it's the top 50 or worst ones, plus those willing participants who come forward as part of the process.
So what happens if there's more than 50? What ends up happening at that point?
Can I call Jerome Flogel up, please? Maybe you can explain how you handle that.
Morning, Commissioners. Jerome Flogel, Senior Project Manager on the PPI Program. Brown Deer, as noted, this utilizes 100% of their funds to date. So their strategy for best allocating or focusing those resources is to look at the investigative work and choose the 50 leakiest laterals. With that, I'm assuming first come, first serve as residents come forward. Generally, as a project is initiated and goes through bidding, the strategy is to sign up the residents ahead of time. What we've learned over the 7 years is participation and interest in the project greatly increases once they see the construction crews operating. So with that, basically the limit of the funds, they will bring people in and sign them up as they express interest once the project is going. Usually there's a time cutoff that's just not efficient anymore. So the estimated kind of side budget, the 50,000, is anticipated to cover the number of people that will come forward. Once the limit of the funding runs out, then it'll be up to the decision of the village either to roll those people over in the next program, or they may elect to do an amendment. The 2018 budget now is approved. They know they'll have roughly about $60,000 coming in 2018, but that final number isn't available until the equalized value formulas are finalized in February or March. So they have the opportunity in 2018 to amend this and bring more people in if they have additional people that want to sign up for it.
There is an opportunity for amendment down the line.
Yes.
That's my question. Thank you.
Any other questions? Moved by Commissioner Bohl, seconded by Commissioner Martinsek. I will call the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Please note one abstention. Commissioner Krieger. Is there anyone else opposed? Seeing none, the motion passes. And that does conclude the Operation Committee's agenda this morning. So I would look for a motion for adjournment.
Moved. Second.
Moved by Commissioner Bohl, seconded by Commissioner Martinsek. All those in favor? Aye. We are adjourned.
Good morning, everyone. I want to call to order the meeting of the Policy Finance Personnel Committee for today, Monday, November 13th, 2017. I will record the roll.
Commissioner Bohl?
Here.
Commissioner Eli?
Here.
Commissioner Perez?
Present.
Commissioner Swan?
Here.
Commissioner Manzanet?
Here.
Commissioner Hermes?
Here.
You have a quorum.
Outstanding. Approval of the proceedings of the regular committee meeting held on October 9th, 2017. I'll take a motion for approval.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved by Commissioner Bowl, seconded by Commissioner Eli. All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Seeing none, items approved. New business, item number 4, 17-110-11, authorizing the 2018 capital charges to non-member communities. I'll turn it over to staff.
Good morning, Commissioners. Mark Kaminsky, Director of Finance/Treasurer. The Commission has requested to authorize the Executive Director to transmit bills for 2018 capital charges to customer communities outside the district. Annually, the district customer communities outside the district boundaries bills these customers for their share of the capital budget expenditures. Since September 6, 1984, when the Commission adopted a policy specifying a system of uniform charges, the district's charges have been based on the equalized valuation of property in those communities. On September 11, 1996, the Public Service Commission ruled that capital charges related to watercourse improvement projects can only be collected from those non-member communities that are partially or wholly within the affected watercourse drainage basin. In addition, in September of 2017, the Commission amended Commission Policy 1-11.05, MMSD's infrastructure, including green infrastructure, to allow financial billing credits to non-member communities that opt out of the green infrastructure program. The non-member communities which have opted out of the green infrastructure program for 2018 are the City of Brookfield, Village of Butler, Village of Caledonia, Village of Elm Grove, Village of Germantown, Village of Menominee Falls, City of New Berlin, and Village of Thiensville. Only the City of Mequon and City of Muskego remained in the program. These actions require annual modifications to amounts charged to those communities. Staff recommends that the Executive Director be authorized to bill the number of communities for 2018 and to provide the appropriate credits. In Table 1, the estimated 2018 capital charges of $30.6 million to non-member communities represents a decrease of 0.8%, or $256,106 from the 2017 level of $30.9 million. This decrease is caused by the following. The equalized value in the non-member communities on average increased by 3.6%, which increased their bills by $1,114,977. However, offsetting that increase is the 1.4% decrease in the district's tax rate from $1.75 last year to $1.73 this year per $1,000 of equalized value. That resulted in approximately $535,000 credit to those communities. The new program credit this year is the Green Infrastructure Credit, and for those 8 communities that opted out, that results in a credit of $677,483. And the final 2 components is the watercourse credit, and there's 2 components to that watercourse credit. The first one is the amount of credit in the 2018 budget compared to 2017, and there's a decrease in watercourse expenditures impacting those communities in terms of the credit, and that is an increase of $821,000 approximately. However, since we do bill them on budgets, we go back and look at actual versus budget, and there was a decrease from the prior year adjustment. That is, in 2016, actual versus budget, we spent more in actual to budget when compared to 2015 budget and actual, and that results in a $980,000 credit. When you add all those together, there's a $256,000 credit. The number rates for 2018 are expected to range from $1.38 to $1.48 as compared to the $1.73 tax rate for our member communities. Table 1 lists the 10 communities. Those receiving the biggest credit in terms of percentage are Village of Thiensville and the Village of Caledonia. I'd like to point out that those 2 communities are least impacted by the amount of our watercourse flood management projects, so they are eligible for the biggest credits. The one that did increase was the City of New Berlin by 3.9%, but I'd like to point out that their equalized value in that community increased by 4.6%. And then finally, the last sheet shows you going out projected that the billing rates for the non-member communities will continue to remain lower than the district member communities. And part of that reason is because the water course and flood management, where we've debt financed those expenditures, are based on 20-year debt, and therefore there will be debt service credits going out into the future. Even if we stop spending in a current budget for an upcoming year, you'd still have the debt service credit, so they will continue to remain under the district member rates. With that, I'll answer any questions.
Any questions, concerns from?
I have one question, just out of curiosity. Can they opt in and out of the green infrastructure program on an annual basis?
They can't, well, let me correct the first part, opting in and out. The 8 that opted out will have a chance to opt back in. Once you opt out and then opt back in, you're not going to be allowed to opt out going forward. So Mequon and Muskego could opt out later and then come back in. But once you've opt out and you come back, you're in for good, because we do not want them to flip-flop. Here's our current need. We want green infrastructure help, and then we want out. So, and they're all aware of that, and they all understand that we want to avoid the flip-flopping. You know, you're in 2 years, you're out 2 years. And it would also cause havoc with their rates too, so.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? We have a motion from Commissioner Bowl for approval, and we got a second from Commissioner Hermes. Seeing no other further commentary, all in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Seeing none, the item was approved for recommendation to the full commission. Next item. Item number 5, 17-111-11. Update of cost recovery procedures manual, including 218 user charger rates. Staff.
The commission is requested to adopt revisions to sections 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14, and the attached tables 2-1, 3-1 through 3-5, and 5-1 of the cost recovery procedure manual, including the 2018 user charge rates. The commission is requested to authorize the executive director to transmit the cost recovery procedure manual to the user charge administrator of each municipality served by the district. The estimated annual household charge for district member communities is expected to increase 10.7% in 2018. The table on your document below shows it by year. Again, we had an 11.5% increase in our total user charge billings in the O&M budget that was approved in October. And the average percent increase is 10.7, slightly less than 11.5, because our occupancy for the district member communities decreased slightly from 2.64 people per household to 2.62. Also, I'd like to point out that on October 10th, the Ad Hoc User Charge Committee met, and that committee reviewed in greater detail the proposed user charge rates for 2018, and the committee unanimously recommended to the commissioners that the proposed user charge rates for 2018 be adopted as proposed. If you go to the back of your document, there's three schedules I'd like to briefly walk through. Schedule A, that shows again our proposed user charge billings for 2018 being an 11.5% increase, or $8.6 million over 2017. And then right below is a little table that shows the billing parameters that the district used to bill its customers. And as you can see, the flow rate, which is per 1,000 gallons, has got an 11.8% increase. BOD has only a 6.7 along with total suspended solids. And then the connection charge is up 26.5%. And again, overall on the household charge, there's a 10.7% increase. Schedule B just shows the average household charge by community, and also the people per unit for user charge billing. So if the occupancy factor remained the same in the community, then the proposed average household charge for that community is up about approximately 11.5%, 11.7%. If it's less than that, there's likely a decrease in the average household user charge. For example, West Dallas went from 2.29 people per household down to 2.24, so they see only a 9.99% increase in their average household user charge. And then finally is the total estimated billing loads, the total estimated user charge billings by community. And this is impacted greatly by the amount of flows coming in from each of those communities, and specifically the industrial, commercial, and uncertified commercial. And I'd like to point out, you'll see that most of these are around the 11.5%. If they're greater than that, we're seeing greater loadings coming in. And one in specific requires me to comment. I'll actually comment on two. Butler, you'll see a 117% increase. That's not a typo. They have a new central hauler located in that community, and they're discharging. So 97% of that total increase in that community is due to that one customer. So they're just discharging more into our system. And down below, you'll see other 92.3%, and that's connected, related to the Valley Power Plant down in the Menominee Valley, which We Energies owns. We're just seeing loadings. But as you can see, if it's slightly better, I always tell the municipalities I meet with that when you see this number, and if it's better, it's not or higher, it's not necessarily a bad thing, because it could mean the loadings, your economy within your community is doing well, because that's what usually fluctuates that. The residential kind of remains constant. And with that, I'll answer any questions on the user charge, cost recovery procedure manual, and proposed 2018 user charge rates.
Any questions, comments, concerns? Seeing none? Motion?
Second.
And we got a second? Motion by Commissioner Bowe, seconded by Commissioner Hermes. All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Seeing none, the motion is approved for recommendations for the full commission. Item number 6, 17-112-11, declaration of the public necessity and approval of the acquisition plat relocation order for a permanent pigging station. Is that right?
Right.
Okay. Pigging station for landfill gas pipeline project P02003. I'm interested in hearing about this one.
I'm going to ask Don Niemer, our controller, to come and make the presentation on this. Part of Don's responsibilities is to oversee our real estate group, and I'll ask him to present this document.
Morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Morning.
Don Niemer, Controller. The Commission has requested to approve the acquisition plat for the permanent pigging station for the landfill gas pipeline project P02003, and authorize the Executive Director to approve future minor changes to the identified parcels, and to approve the addition of new parcels where they have a minor impact on the overall project and land rights acquisition process. The Commission has previously authorized a design contract for a permanent pigging station for the landfill gas pipeline. This pigging station, that, as many of you may know, the district operates a landfill gas pipeline from the Advanced Disposal Landfill site in Muskego all the way down to Jones Island. This pipeline is made of primarily two different materials. One is a plastic pipe, an HDPE, and the other pipe is made of steel. The intersection of these two pipes is currently on property that we lease, or that the National Guard Refueling Wing, the 128th, leases from the city of Milwaukee, and we have a temporary easement for that facility. The Wisconsin PSC, which regulates the district's pipeline, requires the district provide a permanent facility or pigging station. That's what the pigging station is for. It's for maintaining and accessing the two different pipelines. When we initially put the pipeline in, the project's timeline was rather hurried, and the 128th was not willing to give us a permanent easement where it's currently located. So thus, we needed a permanent location for this maintenance facility. So staff is requesting that the Commission approve the acquisition plat with 3 parcels on that plat to facilitate this permanent location and construction of the pigging station itself. The acquisition plat provides for a permanent easement on land currently owned by a company, MKE Fuel Company LLC. This location is right across the street from the 128th property and is also considered to be the most cost-effective site to locate this station. Staff has had some preliminary discussions with MKE Fuel, and they've been fairly positive. They're open to our project. And the plat also provides for 2 temporary easements to facilitate the construction of the picking station. The commission document does contain a map of the location and the parcels that are required for the project, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Any questions or comments? I just learned what a picking station is, so
We
I
all
was
did.
looking it up. Question from
Isn't it named after the piece of equipment? Isn't it a piece of equipment that goes into the pipe to clean out the pipes?
I'll
Isn't
defer
that
to our engineering
King?
team for,
Yeah, can you refresh my memory?
Yeah, I don't know the whole history, but I think it came out of the term pipeline insertion gauge, PIG. So I believe that's how the genesis of the name.
They
So it's, yeah,
inserted in
so
the
we
pipe
put a pig in now, and we use that to run a cleaning tool through either way, so.
We just make sure they're not real pigs.
Thank you.
And if you want to see a section of the HDPE pipe, there's a piece sitting right outside the door here that we signed at the time.
Learn something every day. Outstanding. Any questions, further questions, any comments?
Second.
We got a motion by Commissioner Bowe, seconded by Commissioner Swan. All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Seeing none, the item is approved for recommendation of full commission. Item number 7, 17-113-11, authorizing and providing for the sale and issuance of 2 series of general obligation sewer system promissory notes levying taxes for the payment thereof and all related details. This will require 2/3 affirmative vote from the commission for adoption. Turn it over to staff.
As part of the State of Wisconsin Clean Water Fund Program, the Commission has requested approve the issuance of up to $9,538,326 in general obligation notes to finance 2 capital projects. These loans are included in the Milwaukee Metropolitan Sewage District's 2017 capital budget. Approval of the attached sales resolutions will enable the district to finance projects expenditures over a 20-year period with 2 Clean Water Fund Program loans. The district will save an estimated $1,183,000 in interest costs over a 20-year period of debt repayment by obtaining low-interest financing from the Clean Water Fund Program as compared to issuance owned debt, 1.76% versus 2.85%. The state of Wisconsin requires that all borrowing municipalities provide security for repayment of the loans. One form of security is the general obligation pledge of ad valorem taxes. The pledge requires a resolution authorizing the sale of general obligation bonds or notes and provides for the collection of a non-repealable direct annual tax to pay the principal and interest on the bonds or notes, the Clean Water Fund Program loans. The state is the purchaser and owner of the securities. A 2/3 vote will be required by the commission for approval. The 2 projects are the Conveyance Gate Rehab Phase 3, project number C98051, and the Jones Island Milorganite Facility Improvements Phase 3. 1.76 is the lowest rate we've ever had to issue on our debt. And so we're only less than 2 weeks away from Thanksgiving. I'd like to thank the state of Wisconsin to returning the subsidy back to 55% of the market rate. I'd like to thank Mike Martins and his staff for delaying this project, even though it was in the 17 budget, and also thank the state staff because as the budget was delayed, we didn't go and accept a higher rate with the state to get this going. So the state contacted us, worked with Don Niemer, Don worked with Mike's staff, and we're finally going to this. But 1.76% is great, and we have filed for as much as we can with Clean Water Fund Program loans to lock in rates like this for 20 years. With that, I'll answer any questions.
I have to concur. I mean, 1.76, that's unheard of, but, again, your due diligence from you and your staff. I appreciate the hard work and coordinating the efforts. Any
And
questions?
the state, too.
And the state.
I want to thank the state.
Say as well. Thank you, the state of Wisconsin, for cooperating and working through that with us as well. Any other comments, questions, concerns? I'll make there's a motion I need a motion and a second. Okay, so I got a motion from Commissioner Perez, seconded by Commissioner Bowl. All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Seeing none, the item is approved for recommendation for the full commission. Item number 8, 17.
We needed a 2/3 on that, did we not?
Oh,
At the full commission.
At the commission. Okay, so item number 8, 17-114-11, authorizing the executive director to extend the contracts for prescription drug and supplemental medical coverage for post-Medicare retirees.
So Candace Richards is out on medical leave, and Patty Fisher is here filling in for her, and she'll present these items for HR.
Morning, Commissioners. I'm Patty Fisher, Senior Human Resources Generalist. The Commission has requested to authorize the Executive Director to extend contracts with Express Scripts for prescription coverage and with United American Insurance to provide supplemental medical coverage for Medicare-eligible retirees from January 1st, 2018 through December 31st, 2018. The district currently carries the post-65 retiree medical insurance with United American and the prescription coverage with Express Scripts. So these would just be renewals. The United American has a 3.2% increase, which is actually below the industry average. And the prescription drug provider has a 4.8% increase, which is in line with what the industry is doing right now. Do you have any questions?
Any questions, concerns, or comments? Thank you. I'll look for a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We got a motion by Commissioner Eli, second by Commissioner Swan. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Seeing none, the item is approved for recommendation for the full commission. Thank you. Item number 9, it's 17-115-11, authorizing the executive director to enter into a contract for pharmacy benefit management services with Optum Rex, right?
Optum RX.
RX, effective January 1, 2018. Turn it over to staff.
The Commission is requested to authorize the Executive Director to enter into a 3-year contract beginning January 1st, 2018 with Optum RX to provide pharmacy benefit management services for district employees and pre-Medicare retirees for the period of January 1st, 2018 through December 31st, 2020. We currently do have Optum RX as our provider, and we did go to the market for this, and we received 4 other quotes. Optum RX did come back with the best numbers. They actually have improved their pricing for the average wholesale price and better discounts on the mail order. We anticipate over this 3-year contract we will save about $100,000 by staying with Optum RX. Do you have any questions?
No questions? Any questions from the commissioners, comments? Seeing none, you're saving us $100,000. I'm all for that all the time. I'll entertain a motion.
Second.
Commissioner Bowl, seconded by Commissioner Eli. Any nays? Excuse me, sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Seeing none, the item is approved for recommendation for full commission. Item number 10, 17-116-11, authorizing the executive director to extend a 1-year contract for the life insurance benefits to Humana effective as January 1, 2018 through December 31st, 2018. Turn it over to staff.
The Commission is requested to authorize the Executive Director to extend a 1-year contract beginning January 1st, 2018 with Humana to provide life insurance benefits to district employees and retirees for the period of January 1st through December 31st, 2018. The district's current contract with Humana for life insurance benefits will expire on December 31st of 2017. Humana has been the district's active and retiree life insurance carrier since 2006. They offered a 10% renewal, which is a significant decrease from last year's renewal of 33%. Our life insurance plan is currently running at 106% loss ratio, and over the last 4 years, it was running at, 106% over the last 4 years, and we're currently at 112% loss ratio, which means they're losing money on us, so hence the increase. We did took the life insurance to market last year, and all carriers declined to quote. The one issue that we seem to have is that life insurance is a guaranteed payout because we offer it to the retirees, which isn't how life insurance likes to go. They don't like to have guaranteed payouts, so we really have a hard time getting people to quote us, and Humana has been the only one that has been available for quite a few years. So we're requesting to extend the contract.
Sounds like we have no other option. Okay. All right. Any questions, comments, concerns on this item? Seeing none, a motion?
Approve.
Motion by Commissioner Swan. Any second? And a second by Commissioner Bowe. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Seeing none, the item is approved for recommendation to the full commission. Item number 11, 17-117-11, destruction of the district's records pursuant to the commission policy 1-76.04, record retention policy.
Good morning, Commissioners. Susan Anthony, Director of Legal Services. The Commission is requested to approve the destruction of district records pursuant to Commission Policy 1-7604, the Records Retention Policy. This is our annual records destruction that is supervised by John Weisinger, who's our Information Governance Manager. John reviews the records that we have in storage, and they are also reviewed by all the division directors and the executive director. The list of records that we are proposing for destruction is attached, and the State Historical Society has approved this destruction, so we are requesting commission approval as well.
Simple. Any comments, concerns, questions? Seeing none, a motion? We have a motion from Commissioner Bowe and a second from Commissioner Perez. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Seeing none, the item is approved for recommendation to the full commission. Item number 12, 17-118-11, an agreement for the establishment of sister utility relationship between the Milwaukee Metropolitan Sewerage District and the Beijing Water Authority of the People's Republic of China. This should be interesting.
Yep. This is a bit different than normal commission documents. As you may know, we are designated by the United Nations as a global compact city, which means that we try to cooperate with communities around the world to exchange information and knowledge. We're also a member of the Water Council, and they have been active with the state working in China. China has an initiative right now called Sponge Cities, where they have actually designated significant funds for a variety of the cities in China to become greener and try to absorb water, hence the name Sponge Cities. They are very interested in what we're doing here with the Green Infrastructure Program and with our deep tunnel system managing flows, and they've asked that I come to China and talk. This talks about one presentation, which is in Beijing. There's another one that'll be in Nanjing, and then another one in Haikou that I'll be presenting on week after next. So it's an opportunity to showcase Milwaukee, showcase the work that we're doing here at MMSD. Beijing Water Authority will be here on December 7th, and Commissioner Hermes will sign the document at that time when they come to the States and come to Milwaukee. So it's a great honor. I don't know of another sister utility agreement, and I've Googled it several times and never found one. So we may be the first sister utility agreement, but it's very much similar to the Sister Cities agreement. And it just says that we're going to share technologies and ideas.
Talk about impressive, right?
Kevin, could you kind of outline for the commission what our expectations may be in this? We know that there's a lot of dark areas in this, but.
Well, the hope would be, they're looking for us more for information right now, I think, than we are looking for them. So it's us to provide ideas, technical support, management approaches to managing water, and hopefully have some of those companies relocate offices here in the Milwaukee area to help, with the Water Council work as well. So the goal from the district would be to, if we can, learn new technologies that they might be employing or share what we're doing here now. But for the region itself, I think it's a great compliment.
I'm not saying concern, but I mean, if we're setting a precedent, do you see others looking at this as a way for them to learn about our technology and taking away some best practices?
We can have a lot of sisters.
That's what I'm saying. Right.
We might have other sister utilities that come out of this. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it is interesting that now we've become an international destination for folks. And I think a lot of that goes to the Water Council and the great work that the commission's approved here.
And you're going, when is this?
I leave a week from Friday, and then I come back the Saturday a week following.
So we'll be here for Thanksgiving?
That day.
Outstanding, outstanding. Well, safe travels. All right, safe travels. All right, any other comments, concerns, or questions on this item? Do we have a motion out there? No. A motion by Commissioner Bowe. I need a second.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Eli. She beat you to the punch. All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Seeing none, the item is approved for recommendation for the full commission. Next thing on the list is Executive Director's reports.
Nothing to report today.
Nothing to report today. Outstanding. So, with that said, I'll take a motion for adjournment.
So move.
Second, a motion by Commissioner Hermes. Any a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Swan. Any all in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Seeing none, we stand adjourned. Thank you.
An MCM production.